Hey, Matt Field.
What up?
So, you were doing so good last year, man, and you even ended amazing. And I've been following your story. I saw how you prioritized your education and then went full focus.
Definitely.
I saw how you value your health so much and your mental health, your all of your mental training and hand-eye coordination training. So I followed your story so much, but I guess I have a few questions still.
Happy to answer them.
So, how do you take care of your health besides working out and eating right? And what differences does that make in your driving?
So I go to the gym every day, 5 to 6 days a week. 7 a.m. I do a CrossFit class, and then I usually stay a little bit after and do some weightlifting. That obviously has translated to me not being tired. I'm definitely not tired. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. You know, most people, you wake up in the morning, they're in a haze for the first half of the day. So that has absolutely helped me get up and get going. But really to help my mental health, outside of doing the hand-eye coordination and then going to the gym and eating right, all those things are incredibly important. But I think what's probably been the most important for me is doing something for myself, having fun. Don't get me wrong. We're out here at Grid Life. We have the whole setup. It's awesome. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a good time driving. But I still consider this work. Still working. I love what I do, so it's not a big deal. But it's a big difference from going to golf or riding my dirt bike or playing paintball or doing off-road stuff, right? That to me is the fun stuff, and that's what has really helped my mental health. Because before, and don't get me wrong, I'm at a position now in my career where I have the ability to do so because I have an amazing team behind me that allows me to not have to work 7 days a week anymore. We work Monday through Friday unless we're going racing, so that's great. But being able to have that back of the shop where I can rely and I can not stress man, I got to work Sunday until midnight because my car's not done. I can actually go out and enjoy and go to dinner and ride my dirt bike, and have a good time and have a normal life. And I think that's what's really lacking with a lot of people because they put everything they have into drifting or driving or whatever they want to do, being pro. And by all means, you have to do that, right? You have to do that to get to where you want to be. But I like to remind people, take a second for yourself.
All right, cool, man. It's great advice. So what kind of training do you do for hand-eye coordination?
It's tennis ball things, it's the drop test things, it's the agility ladders, and then honestly for me, I think just physically working out is a big hand-eye coordination thing, because in CrossFit especially, you're not just laying on the bench and doing a bench press and then hanging around like a bro or just playing on your phone. It's constant movement, and we're throwing dumbbells, we're swinging kettlebells, double unders with the jump rope, climbing up and down the rope, running over here, so it's a lot of different things. I think even just that helps with the hand-eye coordination a lot.
Guess what, man? I saw your video with Lone Star Drift, and then I went and bought a kettlebell after I saw you working out.
Hell yeah! And I have a kettlebell in my race toolbox with me everywhere I go, no matter what.
Yeah, but I started working out with that more, man. It's a great exercise.
Heck yeah.
So, do you have any special plans going into Long Beach?
Yeah, one special plan. We brought the boat, so hopefully you can see the boat parked next right to the rig, and we're gonna take the boat out on Wednesday. So that's something that it was kind of like an off-season COVID project when we didn't have any racing to do. My best buddy Brian had this boat his entire life. His dad gave it to him when he died. Had 2 blown up engines. We put engines in it. We redid the interior. We totally restored this boat. So now it's something that we like to take out. It's a sick 38-foot power boat with 2 big block Chevys in there. So we're gonna do that, kind of cruise up and down the coast, maybe buzz over to Catalina and try to chill out a little bit before the week of craziness, because Long Beach is literally a week. We're doing Grid Life today at Sunday. Monday we have tech, Tuesday media day, Wednesday boat, and then Thursday on is just wide open, full throttle Formula Drift. So
awesome, bro. So what would you tell your senior year college self?
I would say stop smoking weed, stop eating like shit, stop prioritizing silly things that really don't matter. But the biggest thing I would tell him is remember to take some time for yourself, because I feel like if I would have done that earlier on, I probably would have been a better driver, because in that time in my life, I poured everything into drifting. Everything, every penny, every ounce of energy, every second of focus. The only thing I did was work 7 days a week and go racing. That's all I did. So I'd probably tell myself, why don't you go ride a dirt bike or have a little bit of fun every once in a while.
Thanks, Matt. It was great talking to you. I'm excited to see you out there.
Thank you guys very much. Have a good one.
Hey, Michael, Essa, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. So you're whether you like it or not, you're kind of a big deal in drifting because you're. How long have you been in FD?
Since 2009. So yeah, 13 years, 14 years, I think, is this season. So
Out of 17
time.
years, huh? So that's like the vast majority.
A good chunk of it, yeah.
So, I always like having the experienced guys and influential guys because there's a value that people could learn from indirect experience. And I was talking to some of the guys from FCP Euro, and they're telling me how you're helping out the pro spec guys now do their chassis setup and all that. That's so cool, man. I love when people help others out.
Yeah. You know, drifting is such a good sport. And I really want to see it grow and grow in the right way. So having all the knowledge that I have, you know, a lot of teams like to keep stuff secret, but you know, I've been doing it for so long, and I want to continue to see the sport grow and evolve. So helping out some of the newer teams in Pro Spec, or even, you know, the teams that have been there for a while, just with little things, because, you know, after being at FD events for 14 years and running competitively and winning a championship, you can really spot things on track. And, you know, I build my own cars, build my own engine, so it's easy for me to see what kind of issues somebody might be having and help, you know, if they want help. Not everybody wants help, but, you know, any teams that do, and, you know, any questions they have, I'm happy to answer. So I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm looking forward to it.
So is Dimitri Brutsky your protege now, or what?
Yeah, so, you know, he bought my Z4 about 4 or 5 years ago, and he had a Z3 that he was driving, and he saw my Z4 and he really wanted it. I told him it's one of the most difficult cars I've ever driven, but it definitely made me a better driver. So I'm like, if you get in that car and you drive it for a couple years, and then you jump in an E46, you're gonna kill it. So he drove that car for a couple years. He learned a lot. He jumped in my championship-winning E46 and won the championship that year, and then back-to-back last year. So it just shows that, you know, with the right guidance, obviously Dimitri's a great driver too, but we can help speed up that process and you know, get him on the podium and get him 2 championships in a row. Just helping with him, you know, with his spotter communication, car setup for every event, so he's not out there just trying to change things every single lap. We come out of the box with a good car.
So I always wondered, how does a driver make it to be partnered up with a big team like that? Like, was it like what kind of thing do you have to do? Because I would love to someday have someone else handle the technical aspect for me, so I just show up and drive. Do you have any tips at all? Like, if you were young and starting over, what would you do?
Well, it's you know, if you don't have a lot of money, that's very difficult. So usually people with a lot of experience want a lot of money to be out of the track with you. But I think the biggest thing is that people overbuild their cars too quickly and kind of get overwhelmed with how much adjustability the car has, and then they're scared to make changes to the car. So they might have, you know, 5-way adjustable sway bar in the rear and all these shock adjustments and everything you can do, like, you know, camber and caster and the alignment on the car, tire pressures. Like, there's so much that goes into it that you can get lost really fast. But I think if you start out with something that's not as crazy and drive it and understand the car dynamics of how to make a car do something with low horsepower, because power can mask a lot of driver mistakes. You know, you get in a corner and you're not doing it right, but you just gun it, tires blow off, and you're still going through the corner. Where with low horsepower, you can't throw in big angle and expect the car to make it through the corner. Just how to balance front to rear weight, and then, you know, slowly work your way up to more power.
So you won a championship with Dimitri's car now, and then he's won 2 championships. So it's obviously very well built, and I saw it on my YouTube channel. It's so simple. It's such a simple build. Like, it looks like almost anyone could do it.
Yeah, you know, I've been building cars for a long time, since I was like 16, and I'm 42 now. So all the experience that I've learned over the years of not just how to build the car properly, but how to make it serviceable. That's why my cars always look very simple and not, you know, cluttered with stuff, because I'm building it, but I'm also the one that's taking it apart, working on it, fixing it. You know, at the track, you need to be able to repair parts quickly. So it's just kind of my style of how I build cars and how I've kind of evolved over the years. When I started out, it was my stuff was not good, but every time I made a mistake, I would learn from it and make changes, and also look at other teams that were, you know, much bigger than I was and had bigger budgets of how they did things. And it's just, you're always learning.
Okay, so this is my last question. have you seen Fat 5 Racing? Have you seen like their crazy 90-degree angle kit? Do you think that's the future of FD?
There's a certain amount of angle that you can use. So just because your steering angle is 90 degrees doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to get that car to go 90 degrees and hold that angle. As soon as you get on the throttle, the car is going to want to move forward if you have it set up properly. So, you know, with our YSFAB stuff, we've got about 65 degrees, and we can get over 90 degrees, you know, backwards entries and all that with that angle because of front tire slip. And it's all a balance of how you set up the car. So it'd be interesting, you know. I'm not sure. I've never driven a car with 90 degrees of steering lock, but to get that amount of lock, you probably have to have some really long control arms and some kind of weird stuff to be able to get the tires out there. So I'm not sure what geometry they have going on and how well it's going to work, but I'm always interested in seeing companies try to push the envelope and build new exciting stuff like that. So I'm interested to check it out and see, you know, how it works.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. It was great meeting you, and I hope the viewers enjoy this too.
Thank you, guys.